My son Sam was the oldest of my three sons, who first was hospitalized with what was diagnosed as schizophrenia in 1975. A lot of times he'd be living in a flop house and he'd get kicked out, and then he would deteriorate and would be readmitted to the hospital. And it was just a revolving door situation with no relief in sight.
Chuck graduated from University of Kentucky in 1979. That's when his breakdown began. He spent several years applying for jobs. Didn't have a great success, naturally, but he had several years of just no work. We knew he had problems. He lived in several locations.
It's very difficult for schizophrenic males to live at home. They tend to do better in an independent setting, particularly if there is some safety and some supervision.
Specialized residency was obviously needed for the mentally ill, which the state totally lacked.
People with psychiatric illness, suicidal or with psychotic episode, they had no support, nowhere to go.
Housing was the greatest unmet need.
And so we just knew we wanted to do something, and started off with transitional housing. Seemed, something in front of us to do.
At a certain point in time, adults want to be adults. They want to be their own person.
The outgrowth of that was that we rented a home at 1382 South 3rd Street. And over the period of years, my gosh, we've now got 19 residential facilities in Louisville and nearby cities. We serve about 600 people. I think it grew beyond my wildest dreams.
Living away from home, having your own place, being engaged in the community, having some friends, that gives a person a life beyond their illness.
That's where recovery starts to occur. You actually see lives different, and lives with hope again, and lives with some dignity.
So this was a vital and critical part of people really being able to live and thrive in the community and work on recovering from their mental illness.
That's what we're about. It's the recovery that you see in clients' lives that makes the difference. That's what Wellspring does.
It's like teaching the man to fish, and then he's able to eat for the rest of his life. That's sort of how I think about Wellspring's programs. They don't just give them the food.
I've learned to provide structure in my day and routine. That's what I try to impart to Wellspring clients, is a sense of structure and hope that things will get better.
When we talk about our clients experiencing recovery, we also have to look at families experiencing recovery.
That's been the most satisfying part of Wellspring, is seeing that transition.
It is a wonderful thing to see families heal and to see that process of our clients actually being a part of the family.
And having a family member call us and say, for this past Christmas, for the first time in 10 years, we've had our daughter back.
We'd just like to say what support Wellspring has been for us and how much it means to us to know that we have them with Chuck and helping Chuck all along.
Sam was the first resident of Artery House, and it was a godsend for us. He was never again rehospitalized.
Stigma impacts our clients every day. Many illnesses, chronic illnesses, diabetes, heart disease. People live with these illnesses, and mental illness is no different. It's just an illness. It's a belief in recovery that I think really keeps us pushing forward.
Wellspring has done a wonderful job of developing a full range of housing and supports for people.
But we just have to keep getting that word out.
We struggle with the availability of appropriate resources.
Though Wellspring's doing a wonderful job, it's like a drop in the bucket for the need.
There's no one sector's responsibility. It's a community responsibility. People with a biochemical disorder of the brain are not, the province of one sector. These are our sons and daughters from our broader community, from all parts of town. And it takes a community-wide response to do something. Phil would say that he'd rather light a candle than curse the darkness. It's a way of, in the face of the pain of mental illness, to do something.
Everything that we do, as I've said, it's evolved out of everything else we've done. I think each step forward is a progression in our belief in recovery